Welcome to the AI Coach by Anil Nathu.
Hello, everyone.
Today we're tackling a topic that's, well, it's more than just buzzworthy, I think. It's really set to transform how businesses connect with you. We're talking about AI conversational orchestration.
And you hear these predictions, right? Like by next year, 2025, AI is expected to be involved in what? The vast majority of customer interactions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the big question is, how do we make those interactions feel less robotic,
Yeah.
less frustrating,
Yeah.
and more like a genuinely helpful conversation?
That's absolutely the core challenge. We've all been there, haven't we? Dealing with disconnected AI. You know, the chatbot on the website has no clue what you just told the person on the phone or vice versa.
Oh, definitely. You end up repeating yourself over and over, and it just feels
Yeah.
like your time isn't valued. It's a really common pain point.
It really is.
And that's precisely what we want to unpack today. We've been digging into the insights from a fantastic resource, Conversational Orchestration, a comprehensive guide AI coach, trying to, cut through the jargon for you.
So our mission today is basically to break down what AI conversational orchestration actually is, why it matters so much, and what the key pieces are that make it work.
Right. Think of it as getting an inside look at how the smartest companies are designing their customer interactions. And we'll be drawing heavily on the expertise and lessons shared by Anil Nathu through the AI Coach platform.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. What exactly are we talking about when we say AI conversational orchestration?
Okay, good question. I like the analogy used in the AI Coach Guide. Think of an orchestra, instead of musicians just playing randomly.
Chaos.
Right, chaos. You have a conductor leading everyone, making sure they play together harmoniously. AI conversational orchestration is that conductor.
Ah, okay, so it brings together different elements.
Exactly. It strategically integrates different AI tools,
Yeah.
things like natural language processing models, those automated workflows, and even human expertise into one cohesive, intelligent system. Integration is key.
Got it. So what are the main instruments in this orchestra then? What are the core components?
Well, the guide breaks it down nicely. First up, you've got the NLP models, natural language processing. These are the brains behind understanding your language.
Like GPT-4 or BERT.
Precisely. They interpret what you're saying, figure out the intent, and generate responses that sound, well, human-like. Or at least that's the goal.
Okay, NLP models. What's next?
Then you have workflows. These are like the automated decision trees running in the background. They figure out, okay, based on this query, where should it go? Does the AI handle it? Does it need a human?
Which brings us neatly to the human element, human in the loop, or HITL.
Yes. Crucial. It's not about ditching humans. It's about making the handover seamless. So if your query gets escalated, the human agent gets the full context. No repeating yourself.
And the AI might even suggest answers or next steps for the agent, right? Making them more effective.
Exactly. It's about collaboration. And the fourth piece, holding it all together, that's the APIs and middleware.
The technical plumbing.
Sort of, yeah. They're the connectors. They allow all these different systems, the chatbot, the CRM, the knowledge base, maybe even payment systems, to talk to each other and share data. Think tools like Apache NiFi or cloud platform services. They're the digital glue.
Okay, so we have these components, NLP, workflows, HITL, APIs. But what's the magic when they all work together? Why does orchestration matter so much? The AI Coach Guide talks about unified intelligence.
Right, and this is where you, the listener, really feel the difference. Let's talk about context-aware interactions. Remember that annoying bank chatbot scenario?
Yeah, where it has no memory.
With orchestration, that chatbot could notice, hey, this person's asked about mortgage rates 3 times this week. And instead of just giving the same generic answer, it could say, looks like you're interested in mortgages. Would you like me to connect you with a specialist?
And that specialist would already know you've been asking about rates.
Exactly. They get the context. Think how much time and frustration that saves you.
That's huge. And it's not just about context, it's about scale too, right? Scalability without sacrifice.
Absolutely. Businesses face spikes in demand, think Black Friday or a product launch. Orchestration lets them automate the routine stuff so they can handle way more inquiries without the service quality dropping off a cliff.
And things like Kubernetes help them scale their AI resources up or down as needed.
Precisely. It means you should get more consistent service even when things get busy. No more hour-long waits, hopefully.
That makes sense.
What else? Then there's hyper-personalization. Because all the data sources are connected via orchestration, the AI can use your past interactions, maybe your purchase history, your preferences.
To tailor the experience just for you.
Right. So a retail bot doesn't just show random products. It might suggest something highly relevant based on what you've looked at or bought before. It feels like the system actually knows you, or at least your preferences.
Which people generally appreciate if it's done well.
Definitely. And finally, let's not forget cost efficiency. The guide mentioned Service BOT seeing like a 40% cost reduction through this kind of automation.
And while cost savings are a business benefit, they can trickle down, right? Maybe leading to better overall service or products for us as consumers?
Potentially, yes. So pulling it all together, as Anil Nathu emphasizes through the AI Coach platform, this orchestrated approach is becoming fundamental for businesses wanting to really lead in customer engagement. It's not just a nice to have anymore.
Okay, so we've defined it and talked about why it matters. Let's dig a bit deeper into the anatomy of this orchestration ecosystem. The AI Coach Guide stresses it's not just one tool.
No, definitely not. It's an ecosystem. Let's revisit those core components with a bit more detail. First, NLP models again. Their job isn't just basic understanding, it's grasping intent.
Like that healthcare example, understanding chest pain isn't just keyword spotting.
Exactly. It's interpreting the seriousness and routing it appropriately, maybe even suggesting immediate action. And these models learn, they get better over time.
Okay. And the chatbots themselves, they're the front door, essentially.
You're the user-facing layer, yeah. But an orchestrated chatbot is way more powerful. It can work across channels, web, SMS, voice, social media, and handle multimodal input.
Multimodal, like text, voice, images.
Yeah. Imagine showing the bot a picture of a damaged item instead of trying to describe it. That's becoming possible.
Cool. And APIs, we mentioned them as connectors.
The unsung heroes. They let the chatbot tap into other systems in real time. That TravelBot example is great, using APIs to check Skyscanner for flights and Google Maps for directions, all within the chat.
So it can actually do things, not just talk.
Precisely. And making that possible are the data pipelines. They're ensuring all the necessary information flows smoothly between systems.
Aggregating data, cleaning it up, making sure the chatbot has your accurate transaction history when you ask for your balance.
Exactly. They support things like ARTA retrieval augmented generation, which we can touch on later.
And the fifth piece, the human-in-the-loop systems, the safety net.
The essential safety net, yeah. For complex issues, or just when someone wants to talk to a person. These systems make the handoff smooth and give agents tools like real-time prompts or summaries. Glee, as mentioned, is a good example here.
Okay. Now, the AI Coach Guide draws a really useful distinction between this orchestrated approach and traditional chatbots. How do they compare?
It's a stark contrast, really. Traditional chatbots often follow rigid, pre-programmed scripts. Think of those basic FAQ bots or old phone menus. Very limited.
Right. Press 1 for this, press 2 for that.
Exactly. Orchestrated systems use machine learning for dynamic routing. They look at the context, maybe your account status, real-time data, and decide the best path, which might be different each time.
And data access is another big one. Traditional bots often have a fixed knowledge base.
Yeah, often quite static. Orchestrated systems can tap into live data, CRM info, inventory levels, order status through those APIs we talked about.
Yeah.
So the answers are current and relevant.
Like checking real-time stock before promising an item.
Perfect example. And learning, too. Traditional bots need manual updates if something changes.
Whereas orchestrated systems learn continuously from interactions, like IBM WatsonX.ai automatically updating how it answers a password reset query based on success rates.
Exactly. Adaptive learning is built in. And maybe the biggest difference for users, the handoff.
Ah, yes, the dreaded, okay, let me transfer you, now please explain everything again.
Right. Orchestration aims for a seamless transfer with full context, so the human agent knows exactly what's happened so far. It respects your time.
Okay, so it's clearly a big leap forward. What's pushing companies to adopt this now? What are the key drivers?
Well, the AI coach materials point to a few big ones. First, simply the demand for hyper-personalization. We, as consumers, increasingly expect it.
We want companies to know us, anticipate our needs, not treat us like a number.
Right. Orchestration enables that predictive personalization, guessing what you might need next. And even adding touches of emotional intelligence, like adapting tone based on detected sentiment. Netflix apparently saw a big jump in engagement using a personalized chatbot.
Interesting. What else?
Cost reduction is always a major factor for businesses. Automation through orchestration handles a lot of the routine queries, freeing up agents.
Better deflection rates, faster resolution times. That Service BOT example again, cutting document processing time by half, that saves serious money.
Absolutely. And the third big driver is the need for true omni-channel customer experiences.
Meaning it doesn't matter if I start on the website, move to the app, then call, the context follows me.
That's the goal. A consistent, connected experience everywhere. Disney is often cited as doing this well, and stats suggest companies with this kind of omnichannel orchestration see significantly higher customer satisfaction, like 23% higher CSAT.
That's substantial.
Yeah. It is. So the overall perspective from the AI coach by Anil Nathu really frames this as a paradigm shift. It's about building experiences that are personalized, scalable, efficient, and ultimately future-proof.
Okay, let's pivot now to the tangible business value. How does all this translate into concrete benefits that ultimately affect us, the customers?
Great question. The first, and maybe most obvious, is just a vastly enhanced customer experience.
Which comes down to things like those seamless bot-to-human handoffs we keep mentioning.
Exactly. No more repetition. The agent gets the context, maybe even AI suggestions. Glia's platform is highlighted again here, with a telecom company apparently reducing agent handling time by 30% because of this. That's faster service for you.
And the hyper-personalization at scale part of the experience.
Yeah, using all that connected data for predictive assistance. Like the travel bot proactively offering help if your flight's delayed, knowing your preferences for rebooking. Or even just using more empathetic language if the system detects you're frustrated.
Making the interaction feel more human, even when it's AI.
Right. The second big value area is operational efficiency. We've touched on this, but it's worth highlighting. Automated intent classification means your query gets to the right place faster. IBM Watson Assistant is good at this.
Less time wasted bouncing around departments.
Definitely. And streamlined document processing, again, that Service BOT case study showing 90% automation in mortgage document checks is pretty incredible. Think of the time saved there.
And all this adds up to significant cost savings through higher deflection rates and faster resolutions overall.
Third key benefit, scalability. Orchestration makes it easier to handle growth or sudden peaks in demand.
Using things like Kubernetes for elastic scaling you mentioned, so an e-commerce bot could handle a massive Black Friday surge without crashing.
Right. The example given is handling 500,000 concurrent queries. Plus, you get multi-channel consistency, the same level of service whether you use the web chat, SMS, or something else. Remember that 23% higher CS8 stat.
And it's cost-effective growth too, right? Often using cloud resources, paying for what you use.
Exactly. Pay-as-you-go scaling. And the fourth major value proposition is future-proofing.
How so?
Well, the modular nature means it's easier to adapt. You can add support for new languages relatively easily if you expand geographically.
Like the fintech example, expanding into Southeast Asia.
Yeah. Compliance is also often easier to manage with centralized orchestration, like a healthcare provider ensuring HIPAA compliance across all interactions.
That's critical in regulated industries.
Absolutely. And it allows integration with emerging tech. Think plugging in newer generative AI models or connecting to IoT devices for proactive service.
So it sets businesses up for whatever comes next.
Pretty much. The overall ROI is clear, faster answers, lower costs, happier customers who stick around. Forrester, Gartner, McKinsey, they all have stats backing this up. The AI coach materials definitely emphasize these tangible results.
Okay, so we see the value. Now let's get into the nuts and bolts. What are the core building blocks needed to actually construct one of these orchestration systems? It sounds complex.
It involves harmonizing some pretty advanced tech, for sure. The AI Coach Guide breaks it down into 4 foundational pillars. First, inevitably, is natural language processing, NLP.
The understanding part.
Right, and specifically the role of large language models, LLMs, is huge here. They're getting incredibly good at understanding not just words, but nuance, context, intent.
Like the banking bot, knowing the difference between you asking for your balance versus asking to transfer your balance? Subtle but crucial.
Exactly. And it goes beyond basic understanding. We're talking sentiment analysis, knowing how you feel, entity extraction, pulling out key info like names, dates, locations, and transfer learning adapting models trained on general language for specific industry jargon.
Tools like OpenAI's GPT-4, Google's BERT, models from Hugging Face, libraries like Spacey, these are the engines driving that.
Those are the key players, yeah. Pillar number 2, integration layers.
The connectors, we talked about APIs and middleware.
Exactly. APIs allow the system to talk to third-party tools, your CRM, like Salesforce, an ERP system, payment gateways like Stripe, maybe Shopify for e-commerce.
Or even custom internal systems, right? Using specific industry standards like FHIR in healthcare.
Good point, yes. And middleware helps manage this communication flow. Apache NiFi is mentioned for things like pre-processing chat logs before they hit the AI model. Cloud platforms also offer lots of middleware services. Event-driven architecture often plays a role here too.
Okay, NLP and integration. What's pillar 3?
Human-AI collaboration. making sure humans and AI work together effectively.
This includes those real-time agent assistance tools.
Yes, things like suggesting responses to the human agent, showing customer sentiment dashboards, or automatically pulling relevant articles from the knowledge base. Zendesk and others offer tools like this.
And the seamless escalation workflows, ensuring that context transfer happens smoothly when a human does need to step in. That GLIA case study mentioned a 25% reduction in average handle time, AHT, because of better handoffs.
That's significant time saving per interaction. And the final pillar, number 4, is the underlying data infrastructure.
Can't do AI without data.
Nope. You need robust databases, maybe SQL for structured data, NoSQL for more flexible data, and increasingly, vector databases.
Vector databases. For what?
They're really good for similarity searches, which is key for things like finding relevant documents or past interactions quickly. Vector search engines like Elasticsearch are often used.
Ah, okay. And retrieval augmented generation, RAG, you mentioned that earlier.
Right. RAG is a technique where the AI doesn't just rely on its training data. It actively retrieves up-to-date information from a connected database like those vector databases to make sure its answers are current and accurate.
Like a healthcare bot pulling the latest CDC guidelines to answer a question.
Perfect example. And underpinning all this data movement are the data pipelines, handling both batch processing and real-time stream processing, maybe using tools like Apache Kafka.
Wow, okay. So it's quite a complex stack of technologies working together.
It really is. The AI Coach Guide uses a good example. Say, you ask for your bank balance via WhatsApp. The NLP figures out your intent. APIs connect to the banking system to get the data. Maybe RAG ensures the format is right, and the response comes back through the WhatsApp API, all orchestrated.
And future-proofing comes back in here too. Designing these systems to be modular, compliant, and capable of continuous learning.
Absolutely essential. It's the synergy between these blocks, NLP, integration, human-AI collab, and data infra that turns fragmented tools into a real competitive advantage. That's a core message from the AI coach perspective.
It really paints a picture of a much more intelligent, responsive future for customer interactions.
Definitely. So wrapping up this deep dive, which has been heavily informed by the insights of Anil Nathu and the AI coach framework, it's clear that AI conversational orchestration isn't just incremental improvement, it's revolutionary.
It's about shifting from siloed, often frustrating AI tools towards truly integrated, intelligent systems that put the customer experience front and center.
It promises a future where interacting with businesses feels more natural, way more efficient, and genuinely helpful.
A future many of us are probably looking forward to.
Thank you for joining us today. Visit the AI Coach website for more AI insights by Anil Nathu.
And maybe a final thought for you to ponder. As this AI orchestration gets even more sophisticated, how will it reshape your expectations as a consumer? And how will it change the very nature of how businesses interact with us all in the near future?